Okay, let us start the class. In today's class, I'm going to explain JavaScript errors. Okay, as I told you that in the previous class, I have tried to brief that how many types of errors and how to handle that errors. So many errors I have briefed that reference errors, type errors, range errors. Okay, we have studied in the previous class about reference errors. In today's class, we are going to understand about type errors. Okay. Errors, as I told you that generally errors means mistakes in the coding. If you have written mistakes in the coding means bugs they are called. That moment at the time of compilation and at the time of execution, errors will be occurred. So they are called runtime errors and compilation time errors. Okay. So to handle that errors, I told you that we will use try and catch blocks. These try catch blocks also will be used in Java also. Okay, to handle the errors in Python also. Okay, so all these classes are free classes and they are being conducted under my Lakshmi Narayana Krishna Foundation to enhance the coding skills in the students who are from rural villages. Okay, if they are totally living away of the network centers and cities and they are living in hilly areas, rural areas, and these classes will be so useful to you, and these classes will be conducted thrice a week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sharply at 8 p.m. in Zoom. Already I have shared the Zoom class in different social media platforms in my WhatsApp groups and Facebook, Twitter. Okay, also. So let us start the class. Okay, as I told you that this is the code and we need to practice that code. Generally, the code written inside of this HTML element under the body section up to here, this is the code of HTML. Inside of this script element, the code written up to here, this is the JavaScript code. Okay. So let us practice that. What is type error? Type error means if the code written which is not part of type. Type means what, Suppose one variable num is created and assigned with a number value 1. And if you want to convert to uppercase, so numbers never be converted to uppercase. That moment, if here string is there, and that string will be converted to uppercase, but never numbers. So that moment, generally, the type error. So type error will be thrown. Type error will be raised. Okay, understood that. So let us practice this code. The total you erase this code from here. So your code window is empty and your result window empty. So we need to write the code like this. First of all, this is a document of, this is a document. Which type of document it is? It is HTML document. So every web page is a document. Then we need to write HTML. We need to start with the HTML element. HTML element is closed with the end tag. Okay, inside of this body element started under HTML element, body element closed. Okay, now inside of this we will write the code. So first of all we need to define the header. Okay, define inside of this content type errors. Type errors. So now close that H1 element. If you click here, type errors will be displayed. So this is the content, whatever the content we will write here, that will be displayed. And then after, if you want to declare some more headers, otherwise one paragraph, paragraph element started, paragraph element closed. Inside of this, any element you write, type errors. What are type errors? Okay. To handle type errors, we write here numbers. Number number can't be converted to uppercase. Only the string data that can be converted to uppercase. Okay. So now, then after, if you write, then after, if you want to write the code inside of your, if that is part of your JavaScript, you need to write script inside of the script element. You need to write the code of JavaScript. Always JavaScript code will be written inside of the script element. Here, first of all, what we need to do, we need to create a variable. Num is a variable created with the let keyword. So num is a variable, it is assigned with a value. I told you that always variables will be created with the let keyword, otherwise constant keyword, var keyword, otherwise constant keyword. Okay. We can create the variables in three ways. So let is a keyword which will be used to create the variable. Now, once this num variable created assigned with the value 1, now if you want to suppose code is what, generally num dot uppercase bracket. This is a function which will be used to convert the data to uppercase. And that moment, what happened? Generally, num is a variable which is holding number. So number never be converted to uppercase. So automatically error will be risen, error will be thrown. So that error, there is a chance of error that will be risen. So keep that in try block. Try block, okay? Understood that. And then after one catch block that is to be we need to set up a catch block which will be used to catch up the errors. Otherwise, some code any code that is to be executed in such case, if try block rises an error, that moment the code written inside of the catch block that will be executed. Understood that? So here, what we need to write like that, we need to write error dot name plus error dot message. What do you mean of this? Means this is what this error variable will hold the name of that error and name of that message. Okay. So two blacks we have used here, try, okay, try block and catch block. Then after, inside of this, now to display that get element by ID method, we need to use to find out that ID, to find out the HTML element. ID is equal to demo. Demo is a value that is to be kept inside of this, a value that is to be kept inside of the get element by ID. And inner HTML, that is what it is to be assigned with a. So here, this we can create a variable, let any variable text, suppose, okay, text. Now this total message, whichever will be raised, that message will be stored in this variable. Now assign this variable to this inner.html attribute. Now get element by ID, this is the part of your web document. So you need to write document dot get element by ID. Okay. Now what happened? This element get element by ID method we'll try to find out that element wherever this value is here. Okay, this value, wherever the value is there. Whenever you run this code, a message that is to be thrown. Okay, that is very important. Message to be, the message to be thrown. So if no any message, what we are seeing here, this is what. Let us see what happened here. So the HTML element closed. HTML element closed. Okay. So now whenever we click on this, that moment, what must be happened that error message, which type of message it is. So that is to be thrown. So let us check that actually what is going on here. So generally here we need to provide one ID attribute. We need to assign a value for this ID attribute, like whatever the value we have passed here. So that moment demo is a value I have passed to this ID attribute. So same I have passed demo. So whenever you run this, what happened? See, now your error is thrown. That is what type error, and uppercase is not a function. So, but both are mingled. Both are mingled. So what we need to do here, here we need to keep a line break. That is what line break. BR. Okay. So whenever you click here, so type error that is printed on separate line, and num dot uppercase is not a function. Num dot uppercase is not a function. So num dot uppercase is not a function. Why? Because here a small mistake you have done here. Upper you, that is what upper spelling you have written wrong, upper. So that's why it is not a function, because you did a mistake. Upper. So U, P, P, triple P you have kept. Remove one P. So now what happened? Uppercase is not a function. Okay. So, but the message to be, because we have assigned the value for one for this num variable. So that moment we need to get a message like that number can't be converted into uppercase letters. So that message we need to get. So if any error is there, first of all, we need to check back that ID, that is okay, number can't be converted to uppercase. Why this number can't be converted to number can't be converted? Why? Because this content changed, because ID kept inside of this P element. So this get element by ID, this method by name get element by ID. This method gets the element by ID, wherever the ID value is demo. ID value is demo. No need to keep already this only demo you keep. Okay. That moment, this demo value I have kept inside of this P element. So this method will find the element by this ID, wherever we have kept the ID value. So it will find the element P, and this value will be converted to this. It will be changed. It will be changed for what? This is. Okay, but suppose, but I want to get what, as I told you that I want to get that error message like that this number can't be converted to uppercase. That is the, okay. So now what happened here? Whenever we have written the code like this, generally one variable is created, num it is assigned with a value, it will not be converted to uppercase. Okay. So that's why this type error we will get, and this num dot to uppercase is not a function. It will give the error like that. Okay. And that error will be handled by this catch block. Where is the catch block? Okay. And this variable will hold the error name and message. This error variable can be any type, X, Y, Z, your name, my name, doesn't matter. Here also variable can be any, okay. This value that is to be assigned for ID that is very compulsory. And then after, if you want to write any code which is for your cascading style sheet, you need to write under style. That is what style element started, style element close. Style for what? Your style element that is to be for your web page. If you want to style anything, write that code just before the JavaScript element. Okay. And how do you want to style your web page? That code to be written inside of the style element. Suppose if I want to select the body, okay, body, and select by this, the body will be selected. And then after, if you want to write any attribute of that background color hyphen color. Okay. My background information. Okay. So color is what? Light blue. Okay. Whenever you run this, your light blue, the background will be converted into blue because I have assigned the value light blue for this attribute that is part of your body. If I want to write code for H1, if I want to select this, this header, I need to write the selector inside of this. I can write like this color. Okay. Color is an attribute that is attribute and it is to be assigned with a value green. Okay. Now, whenever you click on this, this will be changed to green. And if you want to text align means align. If I want to align the text to center, okay, center, okay, it will be aligned to center. If I want to change this green, red, yellow, it will be changed to yellow, okay, and it will be aligned to left, right, okay, it will be shifted to right. And then after, if you want to write any font size, pixel, 20 pixel, okay. Whenever you click here, the pixel to be changed, 20 pixel, huh? Font size. If it is not executed, so then this pixel don't give any space, okay. Pixel size will be changed to type, okay, small pixels. So this code, whatever we have written, that is part of your inside of this style element, that is part of your which type of code, that is what your CSS cascading style sheet. So here I have written somewhat code up to here. This is part of your HTML hypertext markup language, and I have written somewhat code inside of the style element for your cascading style sheet code, which will be used to design the web page, how the web page appears, how it looks. Okay, that is style. How do you want to style the header section, background section, paragraph section, like what you just if you want to change this content of this. Okay, so that moment you need to select the paragraph element P. Paragraph element selected inside of this color attribute that is to be assigned with red, whatever. So whenever you click, this will be turned into red color because this is the paragraph. Okay, and paragraph is selected. Both paragraph. Which paragraph? If you want to select only this paragraph, you need to refer to this one as P1 and change this as P1. Okay. Now that moment, this is the P1 element. You need to close this as P1. Okay. Now only your P1 element will be selected and that content will be turned into because I have selected the P1 element with the P1. Okay. This is the P element. Understood that? Like that, we can do a lot in the coding section. Okay. So please try to understand. This is the part of your today's class. Today is 6 February 2026. I have kept a class on Friday as I promised that 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday sharply. The classes will be conducted over coding until my last breath of life. These are very free classes, and these classes will be so useful to all of you, whomever very much interested. It doesn't matter to any age category, anybody. We need to be learners until our last breath of life. Whether any housewife, any retired person, even the sixth class students, sixth class pupil also he can attend my classes. These are very free classes. So I hope that these classes, I hope that you are able to understand the classes. I hope that, okay. If you have any doubt, you make a call to me. My number is 9110398650. Thank you. Have a nice day.